Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the announcement of the evening. And now, introducing to you, hailing from West London, United Kingdom, coming in by way of the dance hall and grime scene, it's Lady, your girl, CHANN!
Welcome to Boxology with CHANN. Yo, how you going? This lady CHANN rep none less. And we are joined, I've been looking forward to this. Gonna get him now. Looking forward to this. It is Xavier Miller, DILLIAN WHYTE's trainer. And we've got YOUSSEF KHOUMARI. Make sure I got your name right. I was just watching the fights, YOUSSEF, so yeah, it's all good. Stand by. Yeah. So we're just going to chop it up. My man looks all sinister. We're just going to chop it up right now and let's go in sections of what we're going to do. Thanks for joining me, guys. I know you lot are tired, training, camp. You lot in Portugal, yeah?
Yeah.
Is it hot there and everything?
No.
Oh, isn't it?
No.
Oh, shit.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, that done.
No,
all right.
No.
All right, so what I need to know is a bit of your background, Xavier. Like how you come into boxing. Was you a boxer beforehand, XYZ? Do you know what I mean? Because I don't really know all that background. Maybe I should have checked. Allow me.
It's a long story. I'll do the short version. Yeah, I did. I met a very good boxing coach when I was about 14, 15 years old. And I was trained with him for a while, and he passed away, when I was very young. And I did a few amateur fights, and then I tried to get a professional boxing license. That didn't happen due to medical reasons. So I decided to become a coach. Met some very good coaches along the way, and started building some fighters, and opened my own amateur gym in 2013, I think it was, with my business partner Nick. And the rest is history. I've got quite a few pros now, so yeah, that's the short version.
And you're from the bits, innit? You're from Northwest, innit?
Absolutely.
Which bit? Harlesden, Bridge? Which bit?
No, Mill Hill.
Oh,
I'm from Northwest.
Okay.
I'm not from the mad zone. I'm very quiet.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah, because I resided in. I was originally from Chelsea. Then I came into Harlesden and then Bridge. Then moved to East London for 10 years. So okay. Yeah. Okay. Coolio. So, all right. So how did you get to the point of where you are like now, coach, training DILLIAN?
Well, I've got a whole gym of fighters. And a lot of the fighters that I built through the amateur system, when I turn pro, they turn pro with me. So I was on shows like professional boxing shows, kind of like every other week with all my fighters. I'll just getting them out on their debut and building them up towards titles and so on. And so the board, knew me very well because I was around them all the time, so they knew of me. Also got a very good friend in boxing, Don Charles. So I used to work in the corner with some of his fighters. So I've been in quite a few big fights. And funny enough, I was actually in the opposite corner to DILLIAN when Derek had his rematch with DILLIAN. I was with Don Charles.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then a few months down the line, I know Dean. I know his brother really well. Dean's brother.
So did I grew up with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he brought DILLIAN down to the gym, and we started working together, and the rest is history. We're just getting the job done now.
So so basically, you effectively replaced Mark Tibbs.
Yeah.
Is there any like bad blood between it? Or is it just a business? It's just something like when a footballer transfers to another team. Is it like, high five, yeah, see you later, me gone, I'm over here, you over there now? Or is it like, oh, don't chat to me, and it's, what is it? Is there?
No, I don't. I don't have personal relationships like that in boxing. So when I see these guys, you know, I know most of them. A lot of them know me. It's high and by. I don't really have them kind of relationships, and I don't talk about them. I don't do chatty patty business. You know, for me, it's straight business, and I don't think coaches should talk about other coaches anyway. We all work hard. We all sacrifice everything. So I don't have any bad blood with anybody in boxing, to be honest with you. Like, what they say and do is their business. We got business to attend to, so I don't get involved in stuff like that.
You just keep it to yourselves, and you guys are quite a camp that you don't do, like, I've seen you do interviews. Well, I don't really see Dillian do loads with various people. I just see him, you know, he's got IFL couple. You guys seem to kind of keep yourself to yourself. Not a bad thing anyway, to be honest. But is there a method to your training madness? Like with Dillian, first and foremost, like what do you guys work on? Like, is it more of like, because I don't come from a boxing background. I just love the sport, and I grew up watching it with my parents and stuff like that. And yeah, I come from a fitness background and some sports, but not boxing. So I've always wondered, like, in training camps, is it a thing where you kind of rehearse like certain moves, like you rehearse combos, or you rehearse so it becomes like a muscle memory thing? And does every trainer kind of have like their method to their madness, or do you have like a signature type of move that you like your trainers that you like your fighters to carry out, or individual to each?
Yeah, every boxer, you know, I tend to their needs in a different way. They're all individuals. They all have different mentalities. They all have different like gifts, and they all have different things they need to work on. So I don't train any fighter the same. You know, all the boxers in my gym. You know, got YOUSSEF Khoumari. He doesn't box anything like my welterweight Yasser Algina. You know, Yasser doesn't box like Adrian Redmond. You know, Dennis Wahome doesn't box like YOUSSEF. They all.
So how do you train Dillian?
It's to be honest with you, it's the same with every boxer. They're like it's the same. When you're with a fighter on a regular.
So take me through what you guys do.
No, when you work with a boxer, it's just repetition. So the more time you spend with them, you know, the more you gel. So obviously, I've been working with YOUSSEF for years. You know, I've known YOUSSEF since he was like 14, 15 years old. He's like 23, 24 now. So we come in the gym and we know a routine. You know, so we're used to working with each other. It's the same with any new boxer that I take on. You know, I have to get used to them, and they have to get used to me, because they've been working with a certain coach for years. You know, and what we do in camp is what we do in camp. You know, I don't really record or talk about training like strategies or methods. It's, you know, that's all in house. But every one of them, I train them different.
Okay. So realistically, are you guys really going to be fighting in January with this Povetkin situation? Because I heard that he's gone back to training, but to come off the back of COVID, and I haven't seen any promotion of the fight, to be honest. So realistically, does it look like it's happening if it's next month?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, to be honest with you, since February, March, dates have been changing all the time. It's almost become the norm now. You know, they announce a fight, it's on a certain day, and it might get pushed back a week or 2 weeks. You know, the last date we had, we knew well in advance. You know, it didn't change for like 10, 11, 12 weeks. So I don't see why not. You know, once you've been given a date, you work towards that date. If something happens, it happens. You know, but with these kind of fights at this level, you can't afford to take those sort of gambles. Like, you know, you think maybe it might not happen that day, it might happen a week or 2 weeks later. Well, and you know, your camp can get messed up that way. You know, work towards the date you've been given. Then if you get more time, we'll make good use of the time, like we have, you know, with the pull out last time.
Yeah, it's just weird. I haven't seen any promotion about it, and it's supposed to be next month.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, Joshua's fighting, is it this weekend? Yeah. So they'll be pushing that. You know, that's another pay-per-view event. Once that's done, then the next pay-per-view event will probably be Dillian. So then they'll push Dillian. So
Yeah, okie doke. So has it been a successful camp so far? No injuries and stuff like that? Or is it
Yeah,
just like every fighter comes in with a bit of an injury?
Most times you're going to get little niggles here or there, but it's only really worth talking about an injury if it's major. And if it's major, you should pull out.
Yeah.
Fighters always saying, you know, well, I injured this. Well, if it was that bad, you shouldn't have boxed.
Yeah.
You know, that's just my opinion.
Yeah. So me watching the first Povetkin fight, obviously Dill was on a trillion, had him, knocked him down twice in the 4th round. Then comes round 5.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the uppercut happens.
Mm-hmm.
But what I saw on like interviews afterwards was that it was deemed. I touched base with this with Dean as well. Like, why was it deemed as a lucky punch?
I'll be honest with you, I haven't heard anybody say that.
Dillian said it.
I don't think it was a lucky punch at all. I think it was.
Dillian said it was a lucky punch.
I haven't heard him say anything like that.
Yeah,
I
would probably get the bit of the footage and then maybe.
The only thing we after the fight, the first thing Dillian said to me was, you know, it was good work. I know what to do next time, and that was it. You know, I think Povetkin's been around too long. You know, he's good at setting up attacks. So
yeah,
I already said that. You know, to me, he's waiting for an opportunity. That's the way he boxes. You know, he's a shorter opponent. So
I know that. I just was quite shocked to hear that it was deemed as a lucky punch when I know that's Povetkin's signature punch. So I was just wondering that if Dillian thinks it's a lucky punch, how does that change his thought processes going in for the rematch if he just thought that was lucky? Because I'm thinking you're his trainer. So obviously you must have been training for that type of shot to happen, because it tends to be Dillian's Achilles heel with getting knocked out with uppercuts.
You train for all kind of punches. I mean,
yeah, I know, but you know, some fighters get knocked out. Some fighters have got a weakness to certain punches, and
every fighter, yeah.
Yeah, obviously Dillian one is the uppercut, because we've seen it time and time again. You know, with AJ and stuff as well. So I'm just wondering how, as a trainer, do you get someone to like this sounds wild, but do you get someone to uppercut him like and see it in sparring to see if he can withstand that, or do you work on defensive moves that would block the uppercut like with the sparring partner? Because I like going into the rematch, like that can't happen again, because if that happens again, then that fight's lost. So I'm just wondering what's the tactics how do you train fighters if you know that a certain part, because there's fighters that they don't have an uppercut doesn't do them over. There's certain fighters that certain punches don't do him over. Depends what their chin's like. I'm just saying with him, his chin is the kryptonite, is the uppercut. So with the lucky punch thing going around, I think that's a bad like thought to have, because that means that you think that it was just lucky, and it might not happen, it might not happen again. So I'm just asking, as his trainer, like
I said earlier, I haven't heard him say it.
Yeah.
And you know, when you do get into, it doesn't matter what training camp, you know, you're supposed to try and cover all bases. So we work on everything. You know, next time it could be a completely different punch that he looks to set up. You can't just focus on one particular thing, because boxing doesn't work like that. That's just not realistic. You know, you have to try and, I mean, what you want to try and do with every fighter that you get, and it's obviously it's difficult, is you want your fighters to be a complete fighter.
Yeah.
And it takes time, and you know, it's repetition. It's a daily grind, and you know, if you're not particularly good in a certain area, and obviously you need to work on it. And I've always said, you know, it's okay, people putting things down to coaches, trainers, managers, whatever. You know, fighters have to fight. Yeah, fighters have to want to change. You know, and Dillian is the kind of person that comes in the gym and works very, 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 very hard. Very hard.
Yeah, but how do you train? How do like in sparring session? Like, say, just for instance, we're talking about the uppercut is the bone of contention with this specific fighter. How do you train for that? I know you're saying you train.
Yeah, I don't.
How
like
do you get sparers to uppercut, or do you train them to be defensive against an uppercut? Or
like I said to you earlier, I don't talk about stuff that I do in the gym. Like,
oh, okay.
I'm used to.
Yeah, I thought in a whole way round.
I'm used to the gym doors being closed. That's why we don't do recording or anything like that.
Yeah.
What we do in the gym stays in the gym. I don't talk about what we do inside the gym.
I just generally don't talk about like general defensive moves,
tactics and stuff like.
Not specific tactics for obviously the specific fight, but I just thought in generalization, is there a way that you would, you know, train for?
No,
no,
we don't. We do, but we don't talk about it outside. That's in camp business.
I just thought there could be a general, like, you know, like you can make tea, but you're not going to say how much milk you put in it. You just say you put it in it.
Yeah, I hear you, but we don't. Honestly, like it's unprofessional to talk about what you're doing in a professional boxing camp. It's private. So
yeah.
I've never done it, and I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Okay, moving along.